Most elected officials put politics aside, wait for answers, and let people grieve. And then there's Trump. Watch.
I put safety first. Obama, Biden, and the Democrats put policy first. And they put politics at a level that nobody's ever seen, because this was the lowest level. The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan, which says diversity is integral to achieving FAA's mission of ensuring safe and efficient travel. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's just the opposite.
I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense.
That's funny.
They piss me off. They piss me off.
They beg to differ. Now, victims were still being taken out of the Potomac while he was saying this. This is an opinion show, so what's your opinion, ladies?
Well, beyond the egregious and illogical jump to DEI was the continual and predictable lack of impulse control by someone with the largest mic and the largest audience of anyone in the world. And while the bodies were being recovered, when he said these remarks, the bodies were not even all recovered. So step one in a tragedy is to mourn, to wait for these families. There are people that still don't even...
What happened to thoughts and prayers? That's usually the first thing.
That's only when children are shot.
There are people, though, that are being notified that their loved one's not coming home. This is not the time. Let's let all of that dust settle. It's like the wildfires when they started playing. While they're burning, people are trying to blame game it. I think Trump also posted soon after this tragedy occurred and said that this seems like it should have been avoidable. The worst thing you can say to someone who just lost a loved one is without any evidence that it could have been avoided. And let us remember that even the most highly trained and skilled workers in this world, from surgeons to, I mean, I guess you could say even recreationally, race car drivers, everyone makes mistakes. We don't know why this accident happened, and the loose way he speaks about it without any knowledge is heartbreaking.
Disgraceful.
So when you see an object like a plane, two of them collide, and one is a military one, and obviously seen a big plane with headlights and lights bright, I don't know how it's somebody's fault. I don't understand. I mean, yeah, he could have possibly just didn't, he could have backed up for a second and just, said, hey, I pray for everybody's family, which he did. But, Trump, he gonna talk. He gonna say how he feel. This could have been possibility of that. So, I mean, they just, I don't understand that, man. They know Trump. He's gonna talk. He's gonna say how he feel, and that's just what it is. If you don't like how he feel, don't watch it.
Well, her first point, I kind of do agree. They could have at least waited.
But it could be a possibility that that's the reason.
That could too, but we could have waited though.
Yes.
We could have waited.
But some of the blame game and comments could have definitely waited for a better time. Yeah. I do agree with that statement, 100%. But again, I don't really find fault with what he said. I have a problem with the timing of it. Okay. The timing of it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, not a bad opinion.
A loved one is without any evidence that it could have been avoided. And let us remember that even the most highly trained and skilled workers in this world, from surgeons to, I mean, I guess you could say even recreationally, race car drivers, everyone makes mistakes. We don't know why this accident happened. And the loose way he speaks about it without any knowledge is heartbreaking.
Disgraceful.
Well, part of being president
what do you know about being
the
president?
Consoler in chief.
What do you
know?
know?
And at times of national mourning and national grief, America looks to the president to hold us and to give us some hope and some optimism and embrace us. And as there are 67 families, 67 victims with loved ones and friends and wives and husbands and parents grieving and still being taken out of the river, this man goes out there and says this. I mean, when you talk about DEI and Trump, it means despicable, enraging idiocy. That's what his DEI means. And
I have something to say.
DEI.
Just let it ride.
And this is the guy who just, replaced Lloyd Austin, who had a 41-year career, 4-star general, with Pete Hegseth.
Yeah.
Who even 3 Republicans voted against. So you want to talk about
Only
merit? versus just being weighed on loyalty. But I want to read what Pete Buttigieg, who was one of the people that Trump attacked, just said. As families grieve, Trump should be leading, not lying. One of his first acts was to fire and suspend some of the key personnel who helped keep our skies safe. Time for the president to show actual leadership and explain what he will do to prevent this from happening again.
Oh, he told you.
Yeah.
Everybody go.
I'm not going to dignify his remarks about DEI. I'm not going to do that. But to Anna's point, just last week, Trump fired the heads of the Transportation Security Administration and Coast Guard, and he also eliminated all the members of a key aviation security advisory group. The Aviation Security Committee will technically continue to exist, but it won't have any members to carry out the work of examining safety issues at airlines and airports. I think that is very telling, that when voters decide that they want someone to blow things up and they want someone to blow up infrastructures, this is the result. You cannot blow up infrastructures and take people that have real experience in these types of issues and think that good things will happen because of it. So,
Is she blaming Trump?
And I will also say that his transportation secretary, Sean Duffy, said that everything was standard in the lead up to the crash. That is from his own Secretary of Transportation, who replaced Pete Buttigieg.
And the reality is, as Donald Trump acknowledged when he walked out, is that he still does not know the cause of this, that there's an ongoing investigation. The Army, the Pentagon are looking into it. I think any attempts to swiftly blame Donald Trump are wrong, and it's even more ridiculous that he, as the president of the United States, then tries to point to DEI when he has no information to back that is in fact what causes that.
Somewhat I agree with that take
I've
as
flown
well.
that airport more times than I can count. I've actually flown on Blackhawks from the Pentagon in that very airspace. These are some of the safest, these are very skilled pilots. It's a horrible tragedy.
So
we'll learn more as the investigation unfolds.
So what happened?
One of the things that bothers me about Trump and that I've expressed in the lead up to this election is he floods the zone. We should be calling this out. This is a worthy discussion. But there were also yesterday incredibly important and consequential confirmation hearings happening on Capitol Hill. And a lot of folks are going to hear about this press conference, and they're not going to know that Tulsi Gabbard was asked 5 times to say whether or not what Edward Snowden did was treasonous, and that his decision to flee to Russia after releasing American secrets put us in danger. RFK Jr. was up, as well as Kash Patel for FBI director. And I don't think that this is a strategy for Donald Trump per se, but it has this unintended consequence of people then not paying attention to things which will have real impacts on Americans because they're so caught up in just the crazy of the news cycle and how he floods the zone.
But
so people need to pay attention.
Part of this whole thing he's saying about DEI, et cetera, is a distraction from exactly what you're saying?
And I don't know if it's
Senator
intentional,
Warren
but it is
said.
a distraction.
Well, it's also his pet project because he, on some of his first executive orders, addressed DEI. So to say it was DEI that caused it, he once again becomes the person who will save.
I understand why they feel that way. I can see both sides in this situation.
So why did it happen?
Because somebody didn't do their job.
Okay,
right.
so what happens when somebody didn't do their job right?
There was an error here. There was a very big error.
What could possibly happen and what could have possibly put a person in position that don't do their job right? DEI.
So anytime somebody don't do their job right, it's DEI. That's what you're finna say. You finna say
when
every
I'm seeing
single
that firefighters in California. When I'm seeing that they're hiring LGBTQ military generals, I'm gonna point toward that in a lot of situations. Me personally. When I see a woman, I'm sorry to say, flying a whole huge helicopter. I'm not saying that women can't do their job.
There's 2 of them in there.
I'm not saying that they can't, but it seems as if they just putting these people in position to just fill this quota.
All right, we don't know that. We don't know that.
It's been happening.
She could have been pretty. It's been happening, but again, as they said,
so what happened?
As what was stated, it's too early to say and speculate.
But
we don't know.
If
people died, 67 people died, men, women, children died. So to sit here and say, well, it's this because of this, and this, it's kind of.
It is.
I think that's a little wrong, personally.
It is.
You got to at least wait.
Now, do we have our theories? Sure.
And guess what?
But to express our theories as if they're fact and we have no data, nothing to go on, I think that's little.
I'm sorry, but
little much.
We got transgender generals.
Okay,
that's
but
a problem. But 15,000
that's-
trans people were just banned from the military.
Yeah, so.
But how many of them are still there? And we had Pete Buttigieg
They're
in charge
banned.
of it for a while.
Pete Buttigieg is gay. There's no law against being gay in the military.
But he had objectives to put a diversity.
I can't like this until I have more evidence.
Until we have more evidence,
I can't say.
Listen, based on that data, like Trump said, it's possible that could be a thing.
He said it's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah, that's all he said. So why they mad at that? Why they mad at him saying that it's possible?
Because it's too early for him to be pointing fingers, which I agree with. I think that the first thing that needs to be said is this is a horrible tragedy. Thoughts and prayers to everybody affected. We'll do what we can to bring peace and get to the bottom of this. We'll once we start getting more data and we start clearing the wreckage and things,
then you get on.
Then you start pointing fingers.
That'll be the best thing to say.
That's
like,
personally how I think it should have been.
That's fair because like with the fire, we could obviously see that was DI. They didn't have water.
That was just a complete failure. I wouldn't even blame DI. That was a failure
they voted her
on every level.
They voted her
on every level. That was a leadership failure. Then you got the people in the job highlighting how this is a risk. Oh, that's a whole nother issue.
Like,
this situation,
I see Trump.
I can't say
in this situation. I mean,
it's kind of hard.
Based on the information we have right now, we can't point fingers because she just said the current Secretary of Transportation said everything was moving routine. So until we find out why this happened, we can't say it was DEI because not only was there a women pilot in the Black Hawk, there was a man pilot as well, and both of them are dead. So
we're gonna figure it out. But I just I see where Trump coming from because when stuff happen like this, it boils my blood and I'm ready to crash out because it's like people's lives have been affected tremendously because of this.
I agree.
So I'm ready to crash out on everybody. Because y'all coming with just y'all possibly messed up. So I'm ready to crash.
You gotta you do gotta get on people's ass for messing up. No,
for saying that.
You gotta get on people's ass for messing up.
That's how he feel. He gonna say how he feel, and that's how I feel. So I'm gonna say it, but that's not y'all right. You supposed to just relax. I'm gonna get the information, but we know that's how not Trump rocket. He gonna come in there and say, man, look, this is what happened. This is how I feel what happened. But I possibly could have happened like this. I don't know. But then they gonna blow it up and say, oh, he said it like that. That's what he said completely. That he can't say what he want to say, obviously, because people are gonna blow it up. But y'all right. He could have been cool. But from when we seeing and we looking at transgender generals and all this and Pete Buttigieg in charge. Ooh.
It looks bad.
Biden in charge, Kamala in charge.
It do look like DEI. Yes, I can see.
I'm seeing a whole bunch of black people walking out these all down Capitol Hill because they didn't got put on leave. Ooh. So hey, it could be possible. But y'all right. I'm just saying. It pisses me off. I think that it could be possible because I just don't think that a tragedy like this in a skilled positions like this that all these people lives could be affected by a simple mess up. I don't know, man. I don't know. Either it was an attack or a DEI. Can we at least agree to that, though? Or was it just a tragedy? Could that be a third one? I don't think that could be one. I don't think it just magically didn't happen. Just something just happened like that.
It's either a terrorist attack, incompetence, or
that's it.
Nobody ever threw this out there. We don't know if somebody's equipment didn't work either. Also. Nobody ever put that out there because this is completely. We don't know nothing. That's why I say it's kind of hard to just say.
Yeah, because when you just look at the traffic control digital footage and it's just like even the American Airlines could have said, hey, it's something coming close towards you. Like I don't get that either. Like the people on the other side in the military, they Tower could have said something, and the American Airlines people could have said something. So I just don't know, man. It
could be all type of stuff. Man. That's why I said we don't know. Yeah. Somebody probably didn't have a headphone plugged in or something. We don't know. I don't, I just know an accident happened and, somebody do got to take off of that.
That's why I'm saying Trump pissed off. When something happened like that, who the f did this shit? I'm pissed off. Somebody's a f***ing idiot. That's what type of rage you have. So you automatically say, DEI. Because a f***ing idiot did it. But all right,
that's kind of bad. That's why people get hot now.
I don't give a damn. I don't care. We out of here, though, guys.
Yo.